Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Sports Shift. I'm Ria Troilo. This is Brylin Adams, and big moves being made in Las Vegas. Brylin, you know what to do.
Oh, yes. Ria, do you think Vegas hit the jackpot? Well, I think so. After trading Jack Eichel, a future third-round pick, the Buffalo Sabres received Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuck, a future first-round and second-round conditional draft pick. This entire trading process began with Eichel having a herniated disc in his neck. The Sabres preferred Eichel to undergo fusion surgery, and under NHL collective bargaining agreement rules, it is up to the team to have the final say on how to treat injuries. But Eichel stayed consistent about undergoing an artificial disc replacement surgery. Vegas's GM, Kelly McCrimmon, made it clear that the Knights would allow him to have his preferred choice of surgery.
Well, I think obviously that's a better place for him to be, for him to make his own decisions. I didn't know that it was up to the team to make those decisions. But that's a better, more ideal for the player and the team as a whole.
Absolutely. I think, like, Jack Eichel, I think it was really, like, brave of him, and just for him to be like, no, like, this is how I'm going to go, do this, and, like, you can't tell me what to do, like, it's my body kind of thing. So I'm glad he's out. I think Vegas is going to be, they were already pretty hype about it. Did you see the video of them welcoming him?
I did. They had the mascot. They had the cheerleaders. It was a whole ordeal for him. So.
Oh, it's Vegas, you know.
Oh, yeah, they're stacking their cards up, let me tell you. But Montreal Canadian All-Star goaltender Carey Price has publicly announced through Instagram that over the last few years, he let himself get to a dark place. Last month, he decided to check into residential treatment facility for substance use. He mentions, things had reached a point that I realized I needed to prioritize my health for both myself and for my family. And I know we allude to this every week. We see this happening across all leagues, taking time off for mental health or physical health. And I think these players doing that, making these personal decisions, speak volumes for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to mention that. Like, this is like another week yet again where we're talking about someone taking the time to, get their mental health. Like, it should be a priority. And in his letter, he mentioned that we tell our kids to make it a priority, and, we tell our kids to go get help and do what you need to do. So he's like, why am I not doing that? So I think that's a great way for him to, deal with all of this. And, he's just received endless amounts of support, which is how it should be.
Yes, especially in today's world, that matters more than ever.
Absolutely. So. Moving on, the Kansas City National Women's Soccer League is building a new $70 million, 11,000-seat stadium. This is the first top division stadium in the world constructed for a women's team. The stadium is entirely funded through Angie and Chris Long with the help of Brittany Matthews, who is Patrick Mahomes' fiance. And it is built along the Berkeley Riverfront area. I think it's going to be a beautiful stadium. It's going to be a great crowd. Hopefully. This is like a big step for women, like for the women's team only. I don't think there's really ever been anything like that before.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm not sure, does Brittany Matthews, does she have any ties with soccer? Like, did she play soccer herself? Is that why she has like I feel like I've heard that before about her. She's a former soccer player.
She might be, but I am not sure. But it is Kansas City, so it makes perfect sense of why she would want to be involved in that. But that is all the news for you today. Moving on to Philadelphia sports. The average length of regular season baseball games hit an all-time high in 2021, which was a bummer for any young Phillies fan trying to watch games on school night. Luckily, the Phillies addressed this weakness and in an announcement from the team Monday, seems to indicate the team realized the games are getting longer and they want to accommodate the upcoming generation of baseball fans. Starting next season, most Philly games that take place Monday through Thursday in April, May, and September will start at 6:45 p.m. instead of 7:05, which is a 20-minute bump from the 2021 season. And for the second time in his career, Bryce Harper is bringing home the Hank Aaron Award. This award is given to the top offensive player in each league. Harper joins Ryan Howard as the only other Philly to ever win the award in Philadelphia. Bryce Harper has also made the final bill for another prestigious award in baseball. He joins teammate Zach Wheeler on being named among the top 3 finishers in the National League Most Valuable Player and Cy Young voting when the Baseball Writers Association of America revealed its finalists on Monday night. Huge congratulations to Harper.
Yes, Bryce Harper, man, racking up the gold. And I know he's up for National League MVP, and then Wheeler is up for the Cy Young Award, 2 most prestigious awards in the MLB. So good luck to both of those players. And the Eagles fell to a tight one against the LA Chargers last Sunday on home field at the Link. However, we can't be all that mad about their performance after coming away with a close battle of 27-24 for a final score to a solid Chargers team that will probably make a promising run at winning the AFC East. The Birds are finally starting to show some signs of improvement and crafting their identity. Philadelphia currently ranks 5th with 1,229 rushing yards despite minimal carries by the running backs over the first quarter of the season or so. Coach Nick Sirianni has since shifted his offensive approach to more of a ground-based attack. The result? Well, the Eagles have rumbled for 412 rush yards with 6 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. Granted, that was against a pair of bad run defenses in the Lions and the Chargers, but combined the newfound commitment to the run with quarterback Jalen Hurts' production as a rusher, and you just may have a group capable of challenging the top-ranked Browns. Well, we'll see how they continue to progress as the Eagles will soon be en route to Denver in a few days to take on the Broncos starting at 4:25 p.m. this Sunday. Will they keep this momentum going?
You know, you mentioned that we can't be very upset with how they played, but I saw that there were fans throwing flowers at Nick Sirianni, and I was like, whoa, they almost won.
Remember last week we talked about his depiction of the flower?
Right.
So I think that was kind of them being like, okay, we're on board with it. The team was on board with it. Okay. Now the fans are getting on board with the flower thing.
See, I thought they were throwing them at him because they were mad. But when you say it like that, I guess.
See, initially you think that, but then you think back to his press conference about the flower and the roots.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Sorry, we're getting the fans on board. Maybe next week they'll end up with the W.
It's just a matter of time before we have shirts being printed out of Nick Sirianni's head and a flower growing out of it. So we may see that pretty soon.
And if that's the case, you might see an appearance on the show with those t-shirts. Anyways, the Flyers are coming off their second successful road trip of the year, acquiring 3 points out of the potential 4. They fell in overtime to the highly depleted Pittsburgh Penguins on Thursday night, gaining 1 point, but had a quick turnaround against the Capitals Saturday night. Martin Jones, Rasmus Ristolainen, and Derek Brassard all played some of their best in the Flyers jersey at Capital One Arena as the team picked up its first Metropolitan Division victory 2-1. Kevin Hayes and Ryan Ellis are still out for injury. However, the two took part in their first full practice back with the team on Tuesday. In Tuesday's practice, Ellis skated on the third defensive pair with Keith Yandel, while Justin Braun remained on the top pair alongside Ivan Provorov. Vigneault said there is an outside chance Ellis returns tonight when the Flyers welcome the Maple Leafs tonight at 7:30. If Ellis suits up against Toronto, the Flyers will ease him in, according to Vigneault, so they won't have him start on the number 1 pair with Provorov. As for Hayes, he could be a game day ready by next Tuesday. If cleared by medical professionals, Carter Hart will be the starting goaltender tonight for the Orange and Black.
Yes, so tonight they will still be without Ellis and Hayes. However, we don't know. Hayes I know he was cleared for contact. Mm-hmm. He's not yet cleared for game play, but he could be ready by next week. So I know they have a 3-game homestand next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we'll see what happens. But I know we need them back in the lineup.
I mean, I think they're doing well without them, though.
They are, but you want that depth. You want to see them. You want to see them come back, but not rush them in. Mm-hmm. You want to, it's a long season.
Right.
So,
you got time. The playoffs
yeah,
are far away. And I think it's good for the players now, kind of, they're getting, what am I trying to say?
Acquainted. Yeah.
They're
to the system.
They're getting more experience for the playoff run, I feel like.
Exactly. So, you know, you want longevity. That's how you win. So, you know, when you have that depth, you know, Hayes and Alice, we're waiting for you. But despite another strong, shorthanded effort, the Sixers back-to-back ended with nothing more than moral victories. They fell to the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday night at Wells Fargo Center, 118-109, dropping to 8-4 on the season. While Tyrese Maxey, he was just sensational in his start, scoring 31 points, but it just wasn't enough to eke out that win. Andre Drummond had 17 points and 20 rebounds, while Shake Milton gave the Sixers 20 points and 6 assists. Well, we talk about stepping up that depth. Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and Isaiah Joe still remains in the NBA's health and safety protocols. Sixers head coach Doc Rivers said pregame that Harris is doing a lot better and should be back sooner rather than later. The Sixers will finish their 3-game homestand Thursday against the Raptors at 7. So the Flyers aren't the only ones battling injuries right now.
I was just about to say. And I feel like they're doing well. Like,
yes,
they're holding their own. So, you know, I think it's only a matter of time of, you know, when they'll be back and
good signs.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
signs. Shows that.
On the other hand, Ria, I hate to say it, but it was not the best weekend to be a Knight. Unfortunately, Cabrini University swept every single fall sport championship. And out of 4 hockey games this past weekend, the women's team was able to bring home Neumann's one and only win. The women beat Wilkes 4-5 on Friday, but just couldn't quite do the same in the intense loss on Saturday, 3-2. On the other hand, the men's team is not having the best start of their season, being 0-4. I will say this though, they're hanging with every team.
Mm-hmm.
They were going into the third period on Saturday, winning 5-4, but it's like they have 10-minute like shifts of where they just kind of get lost in the sauce and they forget how to play. And then Wilkes came back with 5 unanswered goals, and they lost 9-5.
Yeah.
Like it's like little shifts of where they kind of lose themselves and they can't get their momentum back up.
Yeah.
But they just need to learn to play all 60 minutes, and I think they have a great team, and I think if they do that, then you know they can be successful.
And that is a challenge to play all 60 minutes, even like for professional hockey teams.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to get the team to play a complete 60 minutes. It's just kind of impossible. But you know, if they're holding their own and they're hanging on, like you say, there's going to be success sooner or later. They just have to get acquainted with the system and, you know, progress. So, but the men's basketball team, they kicked off their season 2-0 in this Gwinnett tournament last week, playing Shenandoah University, beating them 78-58 and winning 83-77 against Delaware Valley University. Last night, Coach Rulo was able to go back to his stomping grounds, but Drexel alumni at Drexel University stood in a bit of a different position. The men lost 103-74, although this was just an exhibition game. I feel like that was pretty good. They held out.
They did, and I think it's okay. Maybe Drexel had their second line in. But I think they held their own, and, like, I think that's so cool. Like, as a Neumann athlete, like, it would be so cool to go to a D1 school and play on their court or their field. Like, just the atmosphere, like, that would be so cool. Like, the arena, the Jumbotron, it would just, I would just be in awe the whole time.
The opportunity in itself. I remember when I was back in high school and we, the basketball team, the men's basketball team would take it to the championship. Mm-hmm. They would play at the Palestra. And you have the big Jumbotron there and the college court, and just as a high schooler, that's amazing. So like to be in college and play in a huge arena like that, that's special.
It's really cool when you have that opportunity, and I think, you know, although it was an exhibition game, it didn't count, which is really good. They're still 2-0.
Yeah.
But you know, that's great. You know, I'm glad they had that opportunity. But on the other hand, the women's team took on the Arcadia Knights last night on their season opener and home opener, and Ria, it was a good one. The Miranda Center atmosphere was absolutely crazy. Both sides of the bleachers were filled. I was like, you could barely hear, because when you would be talking to someone, you couldn't hear them. It was nuts. It was awesome. In a nail-biting 64-60 win, this game truly came down to the last minute. This game was headed head-to-head all up until the end of the third quarter, when Arcadia significantly took the lead of the game. But our Neumann Knights did not let that stop them, scoring 22 points in just the fourth quarter and holding Arcadia to only 8 points. Neumann came out on top. It was great. I really advise everyone to go watch this women's team, because it was so much fun.
Both the women's and the men's. I remember back freshman year, like, they are teams to watch. Like you said, like, down to the last minute, it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's everything. So definitely make it to a basketball game here at Neumann University at least once in the next semester or over the winter break, or however you can do it. Just go.
But our Lady Knights will play in the Drew tournament this weekend, beginning Friday at Drew University, starting at 6. Again, check the website for the updated schedule on Saturday. But thank you for tuning in to Sports Shift. Again, I am Brylin Adams. This is Ria Troilo. We will see you next week.